Good morning, everyone. You're watching Atlanta and Company. I'm Christine Polaris. So great to be with you. Are you ready for some spring weather? Amen, I am. Well, it's safe to say many of us are after the recent snowstorms. But for many, the warmth means wearing clothes that are going to show off unsightly varicose veins. It is a problem for both women and men, but luckily something can be done about it thanks to VEINatlanta. Here to tell us more is marketing specialist Rhonda Kearns and very happy, satisfied patient Hazel McCrickard. Welcome to both of you. Thank you for being here. Well, Hazel, yeah, here we are. It really warmed up today. In fact, I'm dying in the studio for some reason. So, you know, we're not wearing our tights. We're showing off our legs. And if you have problems, you can feel really self-conscious. Let's talk about when you first started noticing that you had either varicose or spider veins. What's your story?
Very young. Was when I've always had pains in my legs, even when I was a young girl. And it just kept getting worse and worse.
Did you notice like in your 20s then, even
Probably,
back in 20s,
yes.
30s? Yeah, me too. Yeah, it just seems to be getting getting worse as they get older if you have them. And you actually had a family history of them, right? And that as well as night cramps. So tell me more about that.
My mother had them, probably my grandmother, because she complained with her legs a lot.
Yeah.
And my dad had varicose veins, I guess, because he complained with his legs and had cramps terribly.
Yeah.
I remember when he was in the hospital, just rubbing his legs, they would just draw. He'd have the cramps so bad. And back then, I didn't, when I'd have them, I'd take vinegar water, and we didn't know what to do for them back then. And,
right.
One of his doctors prescribed some pills for him. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, technology luckily has come a long way in what they can do now for them. And Rhonda, let's talk about that because family history is a risk factor, and let's talk about other risk factors that people can be aware of.
It is. Family history is probably one of the most common risk factors for venous insufficiency, varicose veins. That's why you always hear, especially women say, I don't want my mother's legs.
Right,
because it just runs in the family.
Yes.
In her case, both of her parents had varicose veins and night cramps, so that gave her a 90% chance of getting it herself. And if one parent has it, you still have a 50% chance of having venous insufficiency and suffering from that. But there are some other things that you can look for that some of it you have no control over. Gender's one of them. Obviously, both men and women suffer from venous insufficiency, but women, we tend to get all of it.
I know, right?
Women...
Unfair.
Yeah, we're 2.5 times more likely to develop it. That's just because of our hormones, something we can't do anything about. Multiple pregnancies also can contribute to that. Yeah,
I noticed that my spider ones got worse during both pregnancies.
Yeah, and it can advance with each pregnancy. A profession that lets you stand or sit for long periods of time, and as with every other disease, as we get older, we're more susceptible to this as well.
And Hazel, your situation was unique because not only did you have the varicose veins, the cramps, but you also had restless legs. How long did you suffer from that?
Oh, probably 4 or 5 years, maybe more. I mean, I can't remember. I didn't know what to do, and I couldn't sleep at night for.
That must be miserable.
My legs would be so restless, and I'd lay there and try to get them eased where I could go off to sleep. And finally, I'd get up and go get me 2 or 3 swallows of vinegar water, and that would help. But that's just temporary. I mean, it don't help. It'll help for a little while, but I mean, it always come back.
Sure. Did you finally see doctors? See other doctors?
I went to a foot doctor, and he said the vein going down my leg and across my foot and back up was what was causing my feet and legs to hurt. And then they sent me to a vascular surgeon, and he told me that both of them told me that I needed compression stockings.
Right, of course, but again,
that's temporary too.
Right. I know my mom has the same problems, and you know, tell her to do that when you're on long flights, but it's not going to be a long-term solution for your pain. And you know, restless legs, night cramps, all that, that is the venous insufficiency that you were just talking about, right?
Well, restless leg syndrome and venous insufficiency are certainly associated with each other. There's been a lot of studies done with restless leg patients, and about half of those patients that have restless leg syndrome also have been diagnosed with venous insufficiency. So when those patients get treatment for their vein disease, their restless leg symptoms either go away or are greatly diminished.
Okay,
so it is
good.
helpful. You really need to seek a vein specialist.
And why did you decide to choose Dr. Prevosti? How did that come about?
Well, my legs got to where they hurt so bad when I'd work outside. During the day, I'm an outside person, so I work outside a lot. And I would work all day, and my feet and legs would hurt so bad at night, and I'd have the cramps above my knees especially. And it was just terrible. And I saw VEINatlanta on TV, and so I told Bill I was going to give them a call.
Good.
And they did surgery and took a vein out of each leg.
Great.
And I feel so much better. That started my treatments November the 18th. It's been 3 months yesterday. I hadn't had to have anything for pain.
Yay,
and I
good.
hadn't had to have vinegar water.
Right, good. Yuck.
So I feel so much better since I had surgery.
Wonderful. And this is typical, right, of Dr. Prevosti's patients. He's been a wonderful guest on the show for many years.
Yes.
And we've met many patients who said they were just at their wits' end and they weren't able to do the things they wanted and to do all the activities with their children. And we're looking right there. Congratulations to him. Best of for Best Self magazine. That's fantastic.
Yes. Yes, we're very excited about that. There's nothing better than our patients telling us that we're the best.
Right, absolutely. Well, I'm so glad you're feeling better. Thank you so much for being here. As always, thank you as well. And make sure you give the doctor our very best.
I will.
I know he's busy.
Anybody to call
Yeah.
and make an appointment with him, because I sure feel a lot better.
Wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that. It really is a new lease on life, right? When you can
Right.
finally have that energy and not have all that pain. So thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. Thank you. And if you would like more information about VEINatlanta, give them a call, 404-446-2800, or visit the website. It's VEINatlanta.com.